Hi, everybody. Georgia, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you all for your participation at this second EC2I webinar dedicated to the China Cleantech market and the matchmaking mission in November. Maybe first of all, thanks to everybody to mute yourself if you are not speaking. So I will present you first the webinar program. I will take 10 minutes to present you the EC2I project and the matchmaking mission in China. And Maya will, from the Cleantech cluster in Austria, will also briefly present you the Cleantech value chains and some market information. We will have the opportunity to listen to three experienced speakers from three organizations. Mr. Xu, CEO from Umore Cleantech Consulting, will present the CleanConnect conference. Mr. Youngman, CEO of Cleantech Group, will present the Next Gen Energy and Cross-Border Summit. And Mr. Wang, CEO of ZENITY Environment Development, will present the activities of his company and the Chinese cleantech sector. And after this presentation, we will also have a bit time for question and answers. EC2I means European Cleantech Internationalization Initiative. This is a European project, founded project in the Cosmical Cluster Go International. The project will last for 2 years and started in January of this year. The project is to support European Cleantech SMEs to go outside Europe and to create growth and jobs. As you can see on the picture, the target countries are China and the United States. Why? But just because these countries present wide markets and greater business opportunities for Cleantech's exports. In the consortium, we are 5 clusters. Cleantech cluster from Austria, Tenerife from France, Sustainable Business Hub from Sweden, myself, Street from Belgium, and also Clean from Denmark. To support European Cleantech SMEs to grow in China, we, of course, develop some strategic partnership, like the partnership we have with Umore Cleantech Consulting, which help us to help SMEs to enter in Chinese markets. We also develop some tools like guides to help SMEs to find financial support or to develop their commercial relations. We also developed SMEs value chain directory to identify relevant companies' core business. And for this, I will give the floor to Maya. She will briefly present us these value chains and also some market information. Maria, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Perfect. Hello, everybody. My name is Maria. I'm from the Cleantech cluster in Austria, and I'm shortly giving you an overview of the already mentioned value chain directories, because we did in the project that was that in alignment with the technology profiles of our cluster partners in all 5 European clusters, we defined these 4 value chains that you can see here, where cluster partners sum up to provide different technological solutions. And the first one is smart city and urban technologies. That means or includes technologies in the field of efficient lighting, energy facades, mobility solutions, and so on. The next one, in smart grids, includes, for example, technologies like, of course, smart energy solutions, renewable energy from hydropower, solar, biomass, and biofuels. And waste management and recycle includes sorting solutions, solutions for rare earth metal recovery, battery recycling, and also digital waste management. And then we separated this topic of waste management from the rest of resource management, which focuses on water, air, and soil, meaning like water management, efficiency, air purification, soil remediation, and so on. And then we defined the topics of efficiency and digitalizations as a cross-sectoral topic because they, of course, appear in all of these 4 value chains. Paul, we can go on to the next slide. Thanks. What we did now as a service for the cluster partners who are interested to accompany us when going to China is that we collected market information on the Chinese Cleantech market. We called that China Business Intelligence, and it's a summary of information on success factors and challenges for European Cleantech SMEs facing when wanting to enter the Chinese market. And we structured it into the 5 topics here listed: market environment trends, market participants, legal framework conditions, business opportunities, and also strategic partners and contact points for market entry. And they are summarized in a 2-page dashboard for each value chain we defined. And the information will be sent out then as a follow-up email after this webinar, also with the link to the video of the webinar. I just want to thank at this point Lin Dong from Humor, who supported us in setting up this report, and also the Austrian Chamber of Commerce, who also supported us. And that's from my side. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks. I'll present you the program of the mission. This is an overview. As you can see, the mission will last 4 days. I will enter more for the 2 first days. For information, today we already have 6 confirmed SMEs for the mission and around 15 interested companies. The first day will be a welcome day. We will, in the morning, have transport from the airport of Shanghai Center, and in the afternoon we will attend the final of the European China Cleantech competition. 5 finalists, European Cleantech companies, will present their exploitation project in this final competition. And of them will be selected as last finalists and will win different prizes. And we'll also have the opportunity to meet the European Chamber of Commerce at the same time. This is the industrial park that we will visit the second day. On that day, we will have official welcoming in the morning, and after we will have many tailor-made meetings with Chinese company. Humor is helping us for this, and we will also have site visits organized in the afternoon. And at the end of the day, we will have welcome cocktail reception to introduce the CleanConnect conference that we will have after. The 2 days of the mission, Thursday and Friday, are dedicated to the CleanConnect conference and the energy summit. But for this, I will give the floor to Humor and Cleantech Group. They will present us these events in details. But first, I will give you some information also for the packages that are available to participate to the mission. We have 3 different packages. The first one for €400 give access to the CleanConnect and the Next Energy and Cross-Border Innovation Summit. You will have tailor-made B2B meetings during the CleanConnect conference with these packages. And for the second one, for €2,200, you will have the same events, but also a direct flight to Shanghai with departure from Helsinki Airport and arrival on Wednesday, 14 November. be also transportation from Shanghai airport to the CleanConnect conference, and 2 nights in a 4 or 5 stars hotel. The packages number 3 for €2,800 give access to the world mission, including visits in the industrial park. The flight of these packages will arrive on Tuesday, 13 November, and EC2R delegation will take this flight. 3 nights are planned at a hotel with these packages. But if you want to reserve your flight yourself, it's also possible to take the package 3 without flight for €1,600. 3 of all the information related to the mission, you can download this brochure on the web link below. The program is detailed, the packages also. Don't hesitate to have a look to this. Very important, of course, if you want to participate to a mission in China, don't forget to get a visa. It takes at least 1 month to get one, so it's very important. Don't forget it. And we'll give you the floor to Mr. Xu, CEO from Cleantech Consulting, which is a consulting firm with a focus on international clean technology transfer and investment advisory, connecting global companies to China's markets. Mr. Xu, thank you for being with us. I will give you a floor now. Can you try to share your screen?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining the webinar here. Pleasure to present the conference for all guys to have an overview of what the conference looks like. So, can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
So this year is the 5th year for CleanConnect conference. So dedicated for clean tech and very focused on the cross-border. So it happened in November 15th to 16th in 9 cities. Actually, the venue we will have will be in island, very close. It's a high-tech island. You see the picture. It's just in the Nanjing city. Very unique island here. It's we call that Eco Island. So for about the conference this year, we have 6 forums. Among the 6, one of a very important forum is about next generation energy and a cross-border innovation summit. That's a partner together with Cleantech Group. So Rich will be talking more about this forum. And the other 5 is about the environment and about water, about VOC treatment, about environmental remediations, including water and soil remediations, and also ways to value the recycling solution. And one will be smart environment. So how to getting metering and sensing technology and getting the data management to get our facility and utility to be smart. So this will be 6 sub-forums on that, and especially for the energy summit, that will be starting off the first day afternoon and until the second day, the whole day. But for 5 topics, there will be 5 half days across this whole conference 2 days. So each forums, the format is definitely focusing areas. So first of all, demand-based. So we will have estimates almost more than 100 Chinese companies to join this conference. They are looking for partnership and also some investment opportunity as well. So they will present the demand in the market and what partners they are looking for from their And the second one will be the technology trend to grasp. So this will be definitely for designed for overseas companies. Your companies will be presenting your technology and also your strengths and your perspective for China market, so that we're building a good basis for connecting your potential partners in China for good develop the business in the market. In the meanwhile, about these 6 forums, in parallel, we will arrange the B2B meeting. So this is basically based on all the Chinese companies and investors' interests and the overseas companies' strength, technology strengths. So based on these profiles, we will do early preparation on the B2B matchmaking timetable. So that is for every company to join the conference. They will receive a specific timetable for their B2B, when and where to meet who in the conference. So this will be independent sessions for B2B matchmaking. In parallel, the technology presentation in other 6 forums also happening. So we're getting more specific data table for everyone before the events. So last one is a new relationships established. So based on all the participants of the conference, so we'll see different types of the company and people in the conference among these 6 forums. So you definitely will build some more relationship with the Chinese company and Chinese investor and Chinese end users and Chinese government as well. So this will be a good opportunity for you to connect the ecosystem in China in different industry sectors. So quite an overview of what happened last year. So we actually last year we have 28 overseas companies connecting 123 Chinese companies and investors, and we coming up with this kind of matchmaking map to show you 232 matchmaking is conducted among this 2 days conference last year. So this will continue to happen for sure this year. So the 4 years track record for CleanConnect conference. So this year I mentioned it's a 5th year. So we are very experienced now to how to connect the Chinese with overseas in a more effective way, and also helping the companies to meet the right investors in the side. We have 49 listed companies before, then more 360 more Chinese small medium-sized companies, and to join this conference. Also, the whole conference already across 28 countries among the world for different sectors, B2B discussion and cooperation. And investor part that we engaged more than 90, almost 100 venture capital and PE funds to join and to meet this potential investment opportunity with the companies. So again, partnership and also investment opportunity is definitely the key topics among this conference. So that's it, that you may know, and some of the investors in China and IPO company, listed company in China, and also state-owned companies in China also. And also listed some overseas companies before from Finland, Denmark, from European countries, and also North American countries. So they have joined the CleanConnect conference before. This output, I just show you that the event is just, I think it's a tool to kick off your journey in China. And during the 4 years conference, we have achieved many agreements about cooperation by different means. Hiking opportunity, some products happens or licensing happens as well. So in last year, I listed them on the right that BioGill, Australian company in industrial water, has first time to join this conference. But months after, they have built the first demo project in Yunnan province of China for their industrial water treatment. So again, with some statistics, so far the 15 overseas companies have won the cooperation after this CleanConnect conference. So they are pretty good and encouraging for us to continue to do this conference for a more focused group. So this kind of a snapshot for 4 years events, the first year, second year, third year, and the fourth year. So we are looking forward to all your participants this year and make another wow for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Xu. I think we now better understand why this very professional event is called the CleanConnect conference. We will now listen to Mr. Youngman, CEO of Cleantech Group, located in San Francisco. Some word about the Cleantech Group. It's a company who accelerate sustainable innovation. Events and programs of Cleantech Group are all dedicated to help players discover and connect with the key companies, trends, and people in the market. Mr. Youngman, thanks for being with us. We are now looking forward to your presentation.
Can I just check you can both hear me and see the screen?
I can.
Great. And thanks for everyone for joining. So I will talk very briefly about who we are, just to give context to this particular summit, and spend most of my time focused on the summit, which is part of CleanConnect. I'll also explain a little bit about maybe how that came about. So if you're trying to understand us as a business, we are actually the originators of the term Cleantech, for good and for bad. Back in 2002, the founders believed that the next big wave of innovation was going to be B2B and was going to be all about sustainability and how do we do more with less. And we carried on through that time with the air of providing two things, really: market intelligence and market engagement. I wouldn't have time really on the research side of the business, but everything we do is really motivated to help people and equip people with both the knowledge and the contacts to take their businesses forward, and their businesses clearly being ones that will define, I guess, a very different industrial future. So if looking at the screen, what you'll see is 6 hexagons, and these are the areas that we principally cover under the term of Cleantech. So really every form of industrial innovation that is going to allow us, I guess, a more sustainable future. From a client and network point of view, we are really working with the ecosystem. Our subject matter are the startups of the world. We are completely geographically agnostic and are providing service, if you like, to investors, corporations, and all the other enablers, if you like, of this ecosystem worldwide. From that point of view, and zeroing in towards China, we've been running events since 2002. North American company, that is where we started, and that is probably where we are still better known. Forum in San Francisco is 17 years old. In Europe, not much behind, is 15 years old. Unlike everybody else, every other thing we do moves every year. You may be interested to know we are in Stockholm next May. But Asia and China in particular, because that's the subject of today, we have been actively trying to help people connect into China for 10 years. We originally ran a Cleantech forum in China, but over time have modified the model to adapt to, I guess, what we find local conditions and our own capabilities. For 4 to 5 years, we've run something quite similar to what was introduced to you at the beginning, our own China tour, which took approximately 10 companies and or investors every year on a mission, if you like, to meet and connect with some of the Chinese players. But having met Rong in the last years and seen his CleanConnect conference develop, mature, and really be what we think is the most professional CleanConnect event or event in China that happens every year with a complete focus on cross-border, we have decided to collaborate and partner. And we're going to bring to the agenda this year is a stream that's very focused on the energy side of things and the cross-border within that. So that's what I'm going to go on to talk about for a few minutes. Very similar dynamics, I guess, in what Rong would have talked about. So what we are aiming to do across this day and a half is provide, I guess, 2 major things, both knowledge and connections. So insights about what is happening inside China. We will provide it the other way around, because over the years of doing these tours, we get a lot of feedback from the Chinese that they also very much like to hear about what we see as some of the key trends and innovations that are happening elsewhere in the world. And really this is an exchange, as I said, both of knowledge, but more importantly as a means to bring people together with knowledgeable people to learn about the market, to people who may be there for the first time, to develop people's thinking who've been there before and are halfway through the process of working out how it is that they go about developing their business in China. The program is being constructed. You should think of it as something around 70 to 100 people over at the day and a half. The first afternoon on November the 15th is actually will be smaller and much more geared to the overseas company, to potentially some of you. So a smaller group, intimate meetings and workshops to really work through, I guess, experiences that people who have helped people in the energy industry have had, and some of the legal matters and structures that we think it's important that you hear about and think about, because how you go about it can vary enormously depending on what you're trying to achieve and what feels the right kind of structure for your situation. In the half as referenced at the bottom here, we will look to create one-to-one business meetings in a similar manner to what Rong has mentioned. So our idea there will be, as companies commit to being at this summit, foreign companies, we will build a profile of them, translate it into Chinese, and share that with the potential business in China, such that they can request meetings. That would explain the first afternoon on the Friday, the 16th, so the sort of full day. The more really going to look at some of the trends both outside of China and inside China, across, I guess, what we would think of as convergence of smart, digital, if you like, with the worlds of energy, power and transportation, all of which clearly with the electrification trend are becoming enmeshed. We will provide case studies. They're probably going to be from the world of EVs, but in a way it doesn't really matter where they're from, because although if you're particularly interested in that, there'll be some good knowledge about where that market is going in Japan. Even if that is not your prime interest, the speakers will be focusing on how they are building and take advantage of, if you like, the best of innovation inside China and the best of innovation outside China. So the two studies we have in mind, one is a European company that entered China, and it has been the trigger of their international success. The other is almost the other way around, a Chinese-based company, but really building a global brand, and there again taking advantage of, if you like, the best of the world. The digitalization side, I think it's absolutely critical in every part of the world, but it's very critical in China. It's very interesting. In a way, I think it's a bit different and a bit of a surprise to people, to the extent that the digital technologies are being advanced by certain Chinese companies. And so looking for a couple of examples we have in mind were being described here. Somebody who's developing an energy management startup based around AI, and possibly one around blockchain. Again, whether it's precisely these that matter, I think the interest that we have is showing both our visitors from outside, but also people from inside, a sense of how this trend is developing year on year. And then the afternoon is completed really by a series of companies who we are busy selecting and recruiting right now. So if this summit is of interest to you, I would recommend trying to commit, if you can, earlier rather than later. We will limited number of spots for people to present their solution, what they're trying to do in China, and obviously create meetings from that. So it wraps up what we're going to contribute to the CleanConnect event this year, and potentially to your mission. And there's in the Q&A a bit later on this webinar, or offline afterwards, do feel free to reach out to us and discuss precisely what we're doing within this Energy Summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Youngman, for this very interesting presentation. The program is very rich. I'm pretty sure our members, the members of the cluster, will find different topics that will be useful for them. We will now take time to listen to Mr. Wang, CEO of ZENITY Environment Development. Mr. Wang, can you share your screen? So, also a word about ZENITY Environment Development. ZENITY was founded 2 years ago, and now with business scope covering water environment management, solid waste management, and environment remediation. Mr. Wang, the floor is yours.
Can you hear us?
Without any problem.
Could you see our screen?
Yes, also.
Okay.
各位朋友，大家好，我是这个环境的总裁王亚超。
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am President of ZENITY Environment, Wang Yachao.
下面为了加快我们这个介绍公司的进度呢，将由我的同事钟阳通过英语呢给大家介绍我们的公司。
Increasing the efficiency, I will assign my colleague Zhong Yang to introduce our company to you.
后面我们将会把我们这边对于技术方面的需求与大家进行一个交流。
Later, we will introduce with us on our needs on the technology. Okay, so since I was assigned by my president, so I will just give a very brief introduction of our company and also our mother company, ZENITY Holdings. So as you may see from this slide, that this is the organizational structure for ZENITY Holdings. It targets on industrial organization, real economy, and technology economy. Now, under ZENITY Holdings, there's actually it's already more than 8 entities. It's including 4 listing companies, including CFLD, meaning China Fortune Land Development, is a real estate company. Vicinox is now the top of the PMO LED market in China. And Yulong is a top-tier enterprises in the new energy industry with specializations on lithium-ion batteries. And also there are a little part on civil called Hongsheng. So there is in financial part called Bank of Langfang, and also ZENITY Mobility on smart travel mobilities vehicles, and also Taikode for giving innovational centers like incubators to accelerate this kind of high technology companies, and also Cleantech, which is the Chinese largest enterprise space, provides city service platforms, and also with us, ZENITY Environment. Here you may see there are those products under the box. This means that we aim to go listing within 5 years. It's really a tough and ambitious target, but we will be like we'll be working hard to fight for it. So now ZENITY is currently with total assets of more than 600 billion RMB, and we will try to achieve more in this year. And of the key data that for holdings, we now focusing on 10 industries and industrial clusters, and the total market value of the ZENITY Holding is already over 100 billion RMB. And as I introduced on the last page, that our total assets already exist 600 billion RMB, and we have creating over 100,000 jobs, and our distributions already is already more than 100 cities and the regions. So this is the map on our CFLD's business layout. In China continent, that we have a lot of new industrial new cities in Jinji area, that's around Beijing, the capital of our country, and also economic belt along the Yangtze River, and also in Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, Macau. That's the third area that we have specialized entering in, and also has been laid out a lot of industrial cities. And we are adhering to the national strategy. This is the 4 interesting parts of our ZENITY Holdings, that for CFLD, we build these cities. So in the city, we are helping the government to design to make the planning design, and we help to clean up the land and build these factories and these communities and other real estate and also we help the government to do the management. So it's more like that. We are not just a real estate company. We are a city builder. And then for Visinox, we target as I introduced on the previous page that we do these screens. Like we invest a lot on R&D for this OLED screens. And then we now have a innovative part that is the graphene energy storage materials, and all this graphene energy storage materials are kind of the future for China's energy saving market, and also the future for the mobility and transportation market. And the fourth picture, as you may see, this is our new NEV car called Nezha, which will go to the market in later of this year. It's a total NEV car without having to use any fossil fuel energies. And here we come to introduce company ZENITY Environment. So environment is established also by the well-known entrepreneur Mr. Wang Wenxue in 2017 as a child of ZENITY Holdings. So you can see that we are very young. We actually established our company at the late of 2017. We conduct a merger of a technical environmental company called Zemin Huanjing in 2015. And then since inception, we are mission to fully undertake environmental protection, supporting business for CFLG and other our broad companies, and then we also have specialized on improve country level or the county level, country level environment. So we aim to become a unicorn in this area. Now our company have three major focuses, including water environment management, soil remediation, and solid waste recycling. Our development goal that we aim to go listing within 5 years, maybe in 2023, and then before that we have dissembled our target. Here you may see from the first line, the business ratio, external / internal. External means that these projects are all from outside, except for from our brother companies. So we aim to achieve the business ratio of 7 to 3 for this year. Actually, we have achieved this target already, and then we wanted to achieve these exclusive technologies as soon as possible to enrich our core advantages and competencies. Because with technologies, we can speed up the progress to achieve more projects externally. The development positioning is to to focus on county level. When we county level, it's not just the village, but also the suburb area of the major cities. As we may know that in the metro cities, yes, they have very good payment ability, and also their economic abilities are also very good. And for villages, yes, it's a gap that many people have forgotten. But for the suburban area and some of the counties or municipal areas, and their government have good payment capabilities. They pay once you've done with the project. And also, these are the areas that make national owned companies that maybe leave out. So this country level focused strategy can help us to rapidly find our target clients and get the project done. So far, we have, or actually it's a old number, 66 staff. We already have more than 100 staff in our company, and 40% of our colleagues hold a master's degree, and then from the top tier environmental companies. And then with like the clear targets on the areas, the suburban and country and municipal area, we have already supporting over 100 industrial new cities, and then we have we already built and saved, like reserved 103 projects. And as I introduced on the previous page, that currently for our company, we target water, solid waste, and soil. So it's like comprehensive portfolio that can help our clients to do a LCA problem, like to do LCA and then whole life cycle problem solving. So it's kind of like a environmental management work. And here are the innovative technologies. We the reason also why we today doing our introduction is we really wanted to build more cooperation partnerships in terms of technology, because only with advanced technology and then also these technologies that can really apply to our clients, we can grow up as expected speed. So far, we have based on projects in the field of wastewater, soil, and then solid waste. We have already finished a lot of research, innovative technology corporations, and our own R&D processes. Here are some of the highlights and technologies, and also their respective advantages of our projects on the three fields. And here are some of the technical patent and qualification certificate we have already achieved. Some of them are achieved via application of our own colleagues, and some of the certification as the time of achieving is pretty long. So we bought it. We bought it such as the qualification of environment EPC first class certification. This certification enables us to do all environment EPC projects. We actually have also already achieved another two certifications. The civil certification, the first class, and another water the qualification. And we have a goal on the patent achievement, that is within 3 years we will achieve 100 patents for the innovation on water. This slide introduces our project layout that we now already have achieved over 100 projects in China. And most of the projects currently are still internally achieved via our brother companies, CSLD, meaning that we do environmental supporting service for them. We then solve these wastewater problems. We help them build this environment, like water environment management process. We help them and then help the companies who's in the industries to do this solid waste treatment. We help this new industry cities to solve this soil problems. So far, most of our projects, meaning the 100 projects are internally. But I believe that with more cooperation, we will achieve more external projects. And here introduces four case studies. Actually, we have compiled with 3 case studies in doc file. If anyone of you are interested, I'll be more than happy to share with you. Just on the previous, last week, I attended a UN conference on achieving sustainable goals. And in that forum, I introduced these 3 case studies, and many of the colleagues from the government are very surprised by our speed and also our technology capabilities on doing this project. And these are describing the experiences on R&D cooperation and the project management, targeting with the 3 sectors: water, solid waste, and the soil remediation. We have a lot of cooperation with technology partners. Like we have co-established a laboratory with Beijing University of Chemical Technology, because with their help, we'll be able to do a lot of soil radiation on this oily soil. That directly targets clients on this national oil companies. Such as that we jointly established a laboratory with MEP. It's actually established with a national center on solid waste management of MEP. That enables us to participate in the national projects on doing investigation on this soil pollution in China. So in China, we currently are doing some pilot cities on the soil remediation, and then we just published in China. We just published this soil law. I currently can't remember the full name, and then translated to English. We just published
So we have no sound more. ZENITY, you seems not we have a sound more.
Lost.
No, it's,
And using WeChat, and then it might due to the internet problem, the VPNs.
Maybe we can continue with the questions and answers.
yes, good idea. Okay, I will share my screen. But thanks, ZENITY, for this presentation. Even if it's not finished, we can see that the growth and the activities of ZENITY are very impressive. Now we have a bit time for questions and answers. So somebody have a question for one of our speakers. Can be a question about the mission, about the CleanConnect conference, the energy summit, or more general question about the cleantech market in China. If you have a question, please unmute yourself, ask your question, maybe to one particular speaker, and yes, that's it. It's always the most difficult.
This is Younes Nana from ACT, Belgium.
Yes, we are listening to you.
Okay, thank you very much for all of you for the presentation. It's clear now about the targets of this mission. Okay, my question is quite simple. I just want to know if it's possible for you to share the presentation.
Of course. We will ask if it's possible for all the speakers, but I think it will be, and we will share the presentation with a slide share on the cluster 3 account of slide share.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Does somebody have a question?
It's just as a comment. Do we again make a video? Do we record this?
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
So maybe that would be good to also tell people where to find it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. In fact, you are anticipating the next slides, but no problem.
Sorry.
No problem. Maybe I have one question for the speakers. If you had only one advice to give to SME that wants to go in China, but maybe SMEs are a bit afraid, what would be that advice? It's a very open question, maybe a bit difficult, but also useful.
If you want, Richard. So I think there are two things that can sound almost in conflict, but my advice is I come across a lot of people who I start their exploration of China too late. And what I mean by that is their expectation is that they will be active, you know, in the same year, if you like, that they'll choose their partner and everything will be great. My experience there, not having done that as a company, but having observed it, talked to many companies and people in China, is things can move very fast in China, but the time you want to take is the time for you decide what you're going to do. So you need to invest plenty of time in getting to understand what really goes on there, who the players are. There'll be a lot of them, a lot of interest, but you need the means to find out who they really are, what their objectives are, and are you well suited and aligned to that.
Thank you for this very good advice. Does ZENITY or Humor have some advice to give?
You're wrong here from Humor, and we experienced with one of a small medium-sized company from overseas. I think the most critical thing before they go to China, such a big and a complex market, how to profile your company regarding your product and strengths, and have early understanding on their differentiator in the market. That would be very important. Not really to say wow to building partnership or other things, but why you are competitive in the market, your technology and the performance of technology is also a very good marker for the company to set a clear, law in China market. So I think we are small, but we're friends. So that's a clear message we will consider to share in the China market. So that's a critical thing for our SMEs. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, very good advice. Yes?
Yes, it's John from Clean. I have a question for Mr. Su of Humor, and I would like to ask him if he can remark some of the cultural aspects that are the basic market or Chinese culture.
I have a 10-sentence culture in China. The first sentence I share with everyone, but I think the most important relationship is very in China. This is one of the most culture sentence. And the second one is, I think, be patient. Everything will be possible in China. And China is such big and also a lot of uncertainty, but the market is there. So be patient for China penetration. And the third one, I would say, we are, as a company, we are also looking for partnership or investment thing, everything. But one thing is, a contract sometimes means beginning of the cooperation negotiation. It's not the end, it's the beginning. So we see a lot of social contract happening between overseas and Chinese companies, but just be realizing that signing a contract is a beginning on that. The real negotiation will be happening after the contract. This is three sentences that I would say very important to understand about China culture.
Thank you.
No problem.
Maybe we have time for one last question. We can maybe don't hesitate to interrupt me if you have a question, but I will already go to the next. So after all this very interesting presentation, you for sure want to participate to the mission. How to do? Very simple. If you are a member of one of the cluster of the consortium, don't hesitate, just take contact with us. You have our phone numbers or email address on this slide. If you are other organization, you can take contact with the cluster Clean. The email of Georgia is here also on the screen. This is the other possibility. We are available for any question, so don't hesitate. Just take contact with us, and if you to have first feedback, we can see with you more if your company is adapted for China. If there are some opportunities, don't hesitate. For that, also to stay informed, you can go on the website of the project ec2i.eu and also follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn. You will get information about the next webinars and also the next mission in the United States and in China in 2019. And as already said, this webinar will be shared on YouTube, and the presentation will also be shared on SlideShare. Somebody have a question now? If not, perfectly on time. One word, thanks in the name of the EC2I clusters. Big thanks for our three speakers for their very interesting presentation and for their answers to our questions, for their advices. And of course, thanks everybody for your participation at this webinar. Have a nice day if you are in Europe, and a good evening if you are in China, and keep in touch.
Thank
you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.